Okay. So, hello everyone. This is an interesting week overall because why? Because we have NFP on Thursday. I mean, yeah. So, as you are well aware, there was a government shutdown in the US, and when it was finally lifted, now they want to release the old data that was pending so far from September. So, we have what? We have NFP on Thursday, we have FOMC on Wednesday, right? Two news events, red folder news events. Yeah. On Friday we also have that thing, right? Michigan consumer sentiment, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, that is the name. We have that on Thursday itself. That's non-farm payrolls for Thursday. The 10 we have, okay, existing home sales, sorry. We have existing home sales on Thursday itself. Friday is Michigan consumer sentiment, which is obviously a decent news event. So all right, so the week is pretty much packed. Monday is like on Wednesday we have FOMC, right? Right there, FOMC. So Tuesday we have nothing as such. We have some news, but nothing red. Same for Monday, nothing red. And watching that, I would like to share a weekly analysis first actually. See what I see from this chart right here. I think we are going right there. 24,158. That's what I think the week would be doing, or at least till 24,410, right? So it should come at least to a second row. That's what I'm assuming, and most likely it would close on the low itself. Okay, it would not try to go any higher. That's what I think right now. That could change. Okay, that could obviously change. We have lots of news events in the week, and anything could happen, right? Apart from that, when I look at the daily candle, I think again this should be pressing down. I don't know if it could make it till here today or not, but mm, I don't think I should be expecting that. That I think is a bit not too far. It could make it, but it's like still a bit further on. Maybe somewhere on the 25% of this wick, right? That could be a valid run point. Just gonna mark that out. That's 24,860. Right, and then we have what? I'll just make it green. Actually, lighter green is preferred. It's better that it's just slightly visible. Right, so that's there. And then we have what? The 75% or the 25%, whatever you want to call it. We have that's at 743.25. Right, so these two levels could be expected today. I most likely I think the way it is, plus we have no news, right? I think it would want to contain itself in a sense, or maybe not. It could do either things. I don't know exact extent of how far it will go. We have to see more. But again, where is the draw? We are looking for low prices. These two levels are important. Remove that now. And moving on to 12 hours. Again, that looks extremely bearish to me. Right, so I'm looking for another swing at the low. If we'll get it today or tomorrow or right now, I don't know that. Okay, so I still don't know that. I'm still looking into it as the market presents more data. As for 4 hour, again same approach. See the market structure shift right there when the low was broken after the buy side was taken. So that was that was nice. I was expecting that. We are below the NWOG, right? What about this week's NWOG? I actually did not pay attention to it. Where is this week's? Okay, so that's a very thin line, like a very small, I guess some 6-7 handles, I guess. We'll look into it. Again, 1 hour, what is it showing? It's doing the same thing, right? Structure shift, buy side taken. Again, where are we coming from? That's a very important question. We are coming from a premium zone. I know I could choose that, but this is where the real move started. So this is what I'm choosing. See, we are in premium zone and we have rejected from there, right? And we have a shift in structure right here. The low is taken, right? So that is done. Remove that also, that is required. Anyway, so that's done. And now if we move on to a 15-minute chart, this is where things get a little interesting. This is a gap I was looking for, and we have sold off right from there. So that's interesting. I'm still aiming for maybe, see, I'm not looking for a bullish approach, but it is a possibility that it may want to get there, and if it gets there, that would be wonderful. That would be a very good sell opportunity for, you know, this target today itself, or at least this current low or some low that might create later on. So that's where we could look for. And yeah, as for 5 minutes, see that gap wide open. That's why I prefer, if it's a good sell, I prefer that it gets taken and then we sell from this gap, the 15-minute one. That's what I'm assuming right now. 3-minute also pretty much the same. There's a big wide gap open and it may want to come back into it, and that would be a good selling opportunity once the setup presents itself. 2-minute, again, same thing, nothing special. 1 minute also pretty much the same. There's that gap open. It may want to get there, most likely will. If it gets here, it will most likely take that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the understanding of the session. What we are looking for, which direction, why we are looking for that direction and everything. Plus, again, I was looking for sell side on Friday itself, right? We were looking for this, where was that? Yeah, this low, 24,626, but we did not get it. No, 24,410, right? That's the candle, 24,410. So we were looking for 24,410, but we did not get it. So that's where I think the market would want to go. Then we have tapped this daily fair value gap, right? Again, see, what I think that is a possibility, and I would be looking for longs if that really comes along, but I don't think it will, but it can. Like, the market may want to move higher and take this out. Why am I thinking that now? Because I'm going to remove that. That is not important, because we have this gap, right? This small little gap. And the market has not tapped. Okay, it has tapped it. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Okay, that was just a mistake in what I saw. It has already tapped it. See, it has taken that high, right? So it has entered. No, I don't think it should want to come back. Now, in my opinion, I think it has done the job, and I think it would want to move lower. So that remains still. Again, I'm not expecting any longs. I'm not looking for one. But since we have taken this top, if something very clear is presented for a long that goes above here, I might take it. But again, I'm not looking forward to it. Right? I'm expecting shorts, so I'm expecting a quick retracement higher, most likely, and then we sell off from there. That is the approach that I'm still holding. And see, in any manner, at this given point, 1 minute doesn't look very strong that it wants to go higher. So it might just drop lower and keep going lower, right? That's also there. That is the fun part with narrative. It changes quite quickly, but the draw doesn't. The draw is pretty much rigid. So where is my draw? My draw is still lower. Looking at that, see, that was the daily wick CE, right? 50% of the daily wick, and look where it is, exactly near this low. In fact, exactly at that low almost. So that's where I think the market would gravitate towards. There's a small gap in 1 minute. No, I think it would be in 3 minutes probably. No, 2 minutes. Not really. At least not an open one. 4 minutes, there's a bit of a gap. Okay. 5 minutes, also a very small gap. Nothing that catches my attention here. 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes is decent. Okay, that's something. I like that gap right there. and I believe that's where we would be drawing towards. See that gap there? Okay, it's in the way. It is in the way. Now, why do I say that? Because it is in the way. That's why I'm saying it, right? Common sense. It's in the way, as in this gap could act as a draw and then push prices higher before reaching here. Not higher as in higher, but like, a bullish retracement or something. And then we might come back into it. So this gap is important in a sense. I just want to watch this one. Only the high, that's what I'll mark. I'll see the rest later. 15 FPG high, right? So that's what I'm looking at. That's in fact that would be the first draw, the first target, then the lower gap. Of course, that was made obvious by me right now. So this gap is in between, and let's see if it eventually, when we see it going down, will we see it break through it, or will we see it reject from there, right? That is what will set the stage for a further understanding of what is to be done. Beautiful. I've not discussed ES because, well, I did not see the point really. It's pretty much doing the same thing. Nothing that feels unfamiliar or different. And I don't want to go on full screen on that chart. That's okay. I'll just stick to this screen for today. See, these are my backtesting symbols. Just you have to keep going, you never stop. So that's ES. See, I've marked that gap as well, and we have already hit it. So yeah, that is that very gap that I've marked on NQ, right? Very gap, the same gap. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see if it, I don't know, I think most likely it will want to retrace higher from here. And if it retraces higher, that would mean NQ would go for what? The stops that we have marked, right? Right there. It may want to. Will it? I don't know. I'm still watching. I want to see the market present it. I cannot do anything until the market really presents it. That's the whole game. Let's say it breaks lower and then comes here. Like that is also a possibility. Not a good one though. I don't think that's a high probable scenario. One of the probable scenarios is that it might just drop from here, like straight away without much of a fuss. Let's see. We are 3 minutes 30 seconds from the open. Not really a massive gap on RTH in my opinion. If it opens right here until it drops in the next 2 minutes or goes high in the next 2 minutes, whatever. It's not a very big gap. It is okayish. See that right there. I know today there are many lines on the chart. I want to make it of a different color. That's where I think, since it's breaking lower, that's where I think the retracement can come in. That's what I'm expecting. If it does come in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Last minute to the open. Okay, we are on 2 minutes. As for sessions, we don't practice, we follow a practice. That's what this session is about. Following what you have already practiced, following what I have already practiced. And there you go, the low stands taken at 9:30. This is where, if we are expecting a retracement, this is where I would expect it. Not take that low out and reject and move higher. But what? But we are bearish, so it can simply just break through it, and that's also a possibility. I'll prefer that I do not take any longs. That's my preference at the moment. I'm also watching ES on the other chart. It looks okayish. Actually, I'll have to go on full screen again. All right. As for ES, what seems most likely? This top right there. That is the one that I would say is most likely. It can get there, I know, but that's not the most likely approach. Now, this is moving good. I like it. I don't want to see small retracements here and then the market moving higher. I want to see it try to run quickly for it, then maybe consolidate a little and then show us the model and move lower. That is my approach at the moment. We've been bearish since London. Yeah, actually, I'll mark that NWOG. Even though it is small, it might be of importance. Like what it's doing right now. I should just maintain that till that gap. Now it has gone above the RTH gap, and this is where I think the trap lies. See, that would be expected as a long above those highs there, maybe even, whatever. It could be expected higher, but I'm not looking at it that way. I expect it to fall, and that's what I'm looking for. In my opinion, the gap was filled so they could fall better. Because it will induce buyers into thinking that it's going long now that the gap is filled and broken. So the gap will act as support, something like that. That's what I'm thinking right now. Now, it's highly unlikely that it will drop right here, right from there. That's what I think. It's highly unlikely. Now, I would like to see some sort of a consolidation and preferably, that is preferred that it takes that high out. That would be much cleaner. The high is at 25,185.5. That's what we want to see broken. Sorry, the gap, not the gap, sorry, the high. I did say high only, right? Okay, anyway. So 25 185.5, I would expect that to be broken while the market consolidates. Does not break higher but consolidates. That's what I'm looking for. We have not yet taken it out. Not yet. Again, does my idea depend that that stop be taken out? No, I think we had to base a higher time frame, sorry, to base a higher probability setup on that. But again, my preference is that if it takes that out, that would be my better scenario. ES has already failed to do that and is dropping kind of lower, right? Now see, if it breaks lower, I'm not selling it. Why? Because there is no model, right? That's not a swing low. I've made that mistake in the past a lot of times. So yeah, I'm waiting for a proper swing low to be formed in 1 minute and then that be broken and then the gap be presented. That's what I'm looking for. I still prefer that it takes that high out and takes that like 25 185, that's the same high, right? I prefer that it takes that out. Now they are equal highs. It will also be preferred if ES fails to take that high, the red one, 6768. And there you go, NQ has taken that high. Now I would want to see it reject. I'm not marking that gap because, well, it's okay. I'll just mark it out. The exposed part of it at least. I'm expecting this to be a selling gap. Now this candle should drop sharply. Beautiful. Sustain that, obviously. That's part of it, right? Some things are now common sense. I'm not going to say everything out loud. I don't need to. I don't care, honestly. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing and what I want to do. All right, so just in case anything gets presented, I am ready for it. This is not trading advice. Where the fuck is the disclaimer? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. All right. I can't say I like that. Okay, okay. Let's see if it can reject in the next 2.5 minutes. I know that is there. It could, but okay. And ES has taken taken the high that we were expecting, right? That's on the 1 minute chart. I want to see it reject from here. It's not a good sign if it doesn't reject, then it's probably wanting to go higher, and I'm offside in the understanding of my bias, and that is also pretty cool, pretty okay. No issues with that. But I want to see it reject if we are still bearish. Now I would be watching ES to see if ES presents a structure shift and a gap. Very important. Now see, that is not what I was looking for, and that has changed the approach, not my bias. Still, again, I'm still bearish on this thing up till there. If that gets broken, then I guess it is what it is. I'm offside because there are stops lying there. It might want to take them. I will wait in case it rejects. Then I'll remove that gap, the 15-minute one, because then it has lost its importance to me, at least for the session. And what would hold importance would be this gap. Pretty much the same day as Friday. Remember, we were looking for sell side, but it dropped a little lower, then rushed higher. Looks pretty much the same. And plus, the news this week is fucked up. We have FOMC, we have NFP on a Thursday, on a fucking Thursday. Right. So, yeah, no issues. This is the last cap that I'm looking to sell from. If this fails, then I'll ditch the bias and I'll wait for more clarity. If I get a bullish opportunity, maybe something much more clear, I will take that, but I don't think I'll want to buy in this run after it has gone till there. Obviously, that's buying in the premium, and I don't want to do that. Trying to see if we can reject lower in 15 minutes, like on the 15-minute candle, through this gap itself, maybe close in the lower half. That would be very interesting and preferred. Okay. All right, so I'm still watching, seeing, measuring. 5 minutes is not very good. Let's see if I would prefer now at this point, if I want to sell, I want to see that gap hit, because we've already taken a lot of buy side out, and it is much more cleaner and preferred if the buy side gets if the gap, the red gap right here, gets hit and then we sell off. It's very, very much preferred. So let's see. So as you can see, 15 minutes is about to close. I would love to see that it closes in the lower half of the gap. And apart from that, there's actually nothing in particular, honestly. Not at the moment, at least. The only thing is I would love to see that gap taken maybe in the next candle of the 15 minutes, and then again we break lower. That would be very good. Otherwise, we need to see a very sharp drop below this low. That would be something that would interest me in selling short. There you go. We've closed in the lower half of the gap. That is beautiful. Now I would expect doesn't look like that it will, because it has already taken, it has hit the 15-minute gap. Okay, fuck. Oh boy. Okay, all right. That's nice. That is not 5, that is now a 15-minute gap. Okay, fail to see that. That's all right. Now still I think overall I think that is the low that we are looking for. We need to see that broken before I look for any kinds of shorting opportunity, or maybe another swing high, another jab at the gap. That would induce me into a short, but not until we've taken that low, or we have created another high, or maybe close to another high and then we break lower. So something like that has to happen. So far no swing low is broken and I'm not doing anything. I've seen in my habits, like observed actually, that I I won't say actually I will say I many times prefer eating during the session. Eating, and as in it could be binging, it could be actual eating, actual food, maybe like a dinner or lunch, whatever it may be. See that yes has broken that swing low, is breaking down from it. If it presents a decent gap, that would provide what? A confirmation that we are looking for. A confirmation that we are looking for. Okay, there you go. That is done. That low is taken. If a gap is presented, I'm going short. Now, what am I not looking for? I am not looking for anything above this gap, like in this premium zone. So my stop would be right above this gap. And this is not trading advice. I'm not a registered financial advisor. Do your own research if you do something like that. I can see the gap is hit, but I'm expecting a better entry, and that's what I'm looking for. I placed the order, but this would just not show for some reason. Mhm. I think it would want to tap that gap. That's what I'm looking for. That's also that high, right? That's why I placed the order right there. And I don't fucking know why it's not visible. Why is it not showing up for some fucking reason? Sometimes TradingView acts dumb, literally. But anyway, now that is not very good for my entry because it might not take that. But I'm still waiting. I'm not trying to rush into anything. Still looking if we can tap that high and preferably the gap itself. It could be in the next 15-minute candle. That's also a possibility, right? So just waiting on that. Maybe by then this order would have been placed in TradingView. So at this given moment, we are moving just fine. The 15-minute candle is about to close. We may, I'm not saying we will, but we may consolidate for a while before going for the entry, and I would like to see that if that happens. Not break lower, but consolidate, right? But I think if it breaks the low that it has currently created, then I think it would be pointless to hold on for a position. Yeah, I would not prefer that this low be taken and then we come back for entry. I would really not like that. And if that happens, I think I'll close the entry. If this low gets taken before the position is opened, I would like to close my entry. That's for fact. Well, that is it. I'm closing the entries. I'm just waiting for a more clearer approach. Not losing anything is also a win, by the way. What did the breaking of that low signify? That still could be a successful entry, but the probability has been reduced. Why? Because the market is not going down now. If it comes back to take that entry, then it's not going down at that moment. I mean, whenever it takes that entry, right? That is why I've closed that order. That's why it's no more there, right? Because it might just break higher now, or maybe consolidate a while or something. That's why we are waiting. So as you can see, the market is merely consolidating at the moment. I think if we are looking for a sell now, I think we would have to push into the 1050 macro. That's my best bet. And we may take out that high. May. I'm still not very confident on that, but we may. That's why I didn't like it when the low was taken and the entry was not given by that time. Because the probability is reduced. So I'm looking for if still this can like take this stop out, hit that gap, reject it, break a swing low, open up a gap. I mean, yeah, so many things, right? Yeah, if all those things are done, then maybe I look for a short there. But otherwise, I think it's going higher, or at least I will want to come closer to it, and then eventually maybe go down. But again, I'm not looking for a long. I don't have a long bias. I don't see a long draw. I'm not quite confident on where if it's going higher, then where it can go, because I'm bearish on this market, right? That's the whole point. And I'm looking for that sure shot trade idea that is to the face, and that is part of my edge. I would say that is a long, not because I'm going long or I want to go long or that should be the approach. No, just saying that most likely it will want to push higher from here. And again, most likely it will want to go there. Interesting. Okay. At this given moment, there's an SMT. ES has taken that low, NQ has not. But that doesn't mean anything in itself, obviously. But ES has taken this high as well. ES has taken this high as well, and then it has broken lower. That could mark the difference, because that could mean again, see, my narrative is still the same. I'm looking for some kind of retracement now, because the way it is consolidating, the way it's not going down, I think it will want to go higher first, take out the liquidity again, and then come down. That's the approach. And yeah, it remains like that. I think still that is what I'm looking at. I don't have anything else in particular to look at. And as for, wow, congratulations. That was very early. How long ago did I place that order? Now it will not get cancelled, right? Uh, I placed it right after this candle, I believe, or somewhere in this vicinity. It took almost 30 minutes to place that order. God knows how long it will take to cancel it. Okay, that was quick. It cancelled out quickly. So is it working now? Nope. Still the same. A buy limit order would appear here after half an hour, maybe. I'm just bored. The Joker. I do that a lot, honestly, when I'm just watching the charts. I just go open the highlighter and just start dragging my sheet here and there. Just honestly, in my opinion, it's just kind of stress relieving, being free. Anyway, I think no, I don't think anything. I don't know. I don't know right here. I don't know it. We are right at equilibrium, and again, uh, since this low right here was taken, everything has changed since then. And see, that's what the market is just consolidating, not giving you a clear picture, right? That's why I canceled that order, because it didn't make sense anymore. Now, if it goes back up there and again presents a setup, I would be in looking for short. Otherwise, it's just probably a range bound day or something, range bound session or something. And if we take that high out and present a setup, I'm open to that as well. And I'm just going to add an alert here and an alert here. So just in case if we are presented with those either of the two opportunities, I'm looking to go short. If not, I think I'm done for this session. I'll see what's there in the PM. And many times I've seen that when the when the AM is like this, like one-sided or choppy, something like that, lunch many times provides a very good setup, higher, lower, whatever it may be. That's when lunch really provides it, like after 11. So I would just be watching it with alerts, maybe see what it's going, what it's not doing, where it's going, what it's doing, what it's not doing. That would be the approach. I think that would be it for today's session. I am going to see you tomorrow in the AM session itself. Thank you for being with us. And oh, also, I forgot one thing, right? I don't know if it's there on the trading view because it was not working properly. Oh no, it's there. Right. So yeah, this was Friday's PM session that I took a couple trades, two trades actually. I went long there, expecting a higher run, maybe take that high out. it moved, but it did not move the way I was expecting. So eventually when it broke down on this candle, I just, see, I closed it right there. I closed it when this low was broken right there. So that was closed. And this was again another entry on the 2 minute. It was, the gap was open, everything. I was like, okay, I know it's going short because buy side is taken out. It did not go high. It's consolidated and then displays lower. Everything looked for that low, and maybe even that one. That's where, not that one, sorry, that one. That's where I was looking for. And then eventually I shorted that right there on this, not on this candle. I shorted on that candle only, but anyway, I shorted here late. That's the point. I took out my targets right here in this area because, well, I wanted it to rip lower, but it did not rip lower. It started consolidating. I was like, okay, I think I should get out. And that's exactly what I did. That was the PM session for Friday. And yeah, this is also clear. Now we'll move on. We'll come into tomorrow's AM session, which should be, I don't know, it should be tricky, I guess, because it's Tuesday, which is a good day, but what is there? We have FOMC on Wednesday and then we have NFP on Thursday, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you. See ya.